guys. So I am going to be making a wedding bouquet. So I'm using this ring, and then I have this styrofoam that we got from Michael's, and it was a round one. I cut it in half. I am going to cut right down here with the knife. Then I'm going to place this in it like that, and then the flowers will be stuck on this. Okay? So let's get started. Okay, family, so what I'm doing here is I am adding some bling to the styrofoam first. So I got this rhinestone wrap. I got that from Amazon. As you can see, it's a big roll. And I am going to cut it to size, wrap it around, just so that, you know, if it just so happens that if you see through the flowers and then the back of it is going to be kind of exposed anyway, that this will, you know, you'll see the bling and not the green styrofoam. So basically that's all I'm doing is I am going to stick it, go around. I am not sticking each row, I am sticking each other row. So this is kind of how it's going to look. I am going to fill in, you know, the other gaps, because this is, when you're doing something round, you always remember your inner part is going to be smaller than the outer. So that's why if I'm wrapping it straight around, I am missing, you see like where I'm missing some spots in between, because I'm using something straight to go around. So that's happened. So all you have to do is go in and fill those spots in afterwards. And what you definitely want to do when you are sticking it is pull it as tightly as you can, so that it doesn't be loose on there. So now you see where I've gone in and I've filled all the gaps, and now we have a base to work from. So now we're going to start to add all of the flowers. So because I want this to look somewhat symmetrical, I would say if you're going to try this, when you add a flower on one side, replicate it on the other side at the same time. So don't like continue. So you see I'm going to put one flower there, and I'll go to the other side and I'll put the same flower on the other side. And that's how it will kind of look like a replica as you go. And your flowers and your colors will be spaced out as evenly as possible. Now here you're seeing me just sticking them in, because I am testing out how a styrofoam is going to take the flowers and if I need to glue them or not. And I will say, yes, I did have to glue them. I just was kind of scared. Some of them could have stayed, but I didn't want, when she's standing at the altar, you see flowers dropping, child. Nobody got time. I would have been embarrassed. Okay. So just with a little bit of glue from the glue gun would keep them in place, and that's fine. Now that flower that I just put in the back, I'm realizing, hey, this is going to be like the inner part that will be touching her dress or whatever. And it might be uncomfortable for her because she's feeling like she has to keep the flowers off of her. So you want to keep the back part of it as flat as possible. So no flowers on the back. See, and I'm kind of shaking it to see, you know, if any flowers will fall off. So we're using 3 different flowers on here. We're using roses, some white roses. As you can see, well, we're using white roses, and we're using calla lilies. We're using, I forgot the name of these roses. I'll put it up on the screen. These are the flowers, sorry, that I'm using right now. And what I'm doing is I'm using the stem of those because those are more flexible and I like the look of those better. I'm wrapping those around the back so it look like a vine anytime you see the back as well. And what I also did is I took some of the leaves and I'm putting the leaves in between so that it will, just not be only flowers either, but I'm also bringing the green in and I'm making it look a little bit more realistic by doing that. So now this is her wedding color, her true color that she like, and it's a coral. So I'm gonna stick that in, periodically here and there. And then you'll also see me put some red in, which was his colors. So here it is where I added some of the coral in there. I didn't want to do too much, just sparingly, and then you'll see where I will drop some more leaves in and I will drop some more red in. So what I did is I pre-dig the hole because that styrofoam is pretty hard. Put some glue in there and then put the flower in there. Yeah, so as I'm getting, it's getting harder and harder to get the flowers in. So I am gluing it first. So here now I am adding the red roses. All of these flowers, we ordered them from Amazon. And as you can see, I add the green leaves to the back to again create that more realistic look. And when you're doing stuff like this, you kind of want to just keep filling as you go, but don't overdo it, as it will, you start to spoil it. But if you see empty spots that you think should be filled up, you fill those up. And you don't want to fill everything up, but you want to, especially on the back of it, but you want to, make it look as full as possible. You have to remember, pictures have to be taken. How is it going to look on picture? So that's why you see I continuously put it up so I can see it in the camera versus with my naked eye. So do you see how full that is? That's what you're looking for. So now I'm knowing, okay, I just need to add some more leaves here and there. Yeah, I have to use something to hold these down because that glue is hot. Again, as you hold it up, you will start to see where you need to add stuff. So the last thing I'm going to add to this is some bling. So I am adding like some little teardrop crystals from it. What would be a wedding without some bling? There you go. So basically what I did is I took some of the twine and I bent it in half like that. I bent it into like a U shape and used that to stick the crystals into it. And there we go. Again, simple, elegant, not too much. If you put too much of those crystals, it will just spoil it. It doesn't need anything else. Keep it simple and elegant. And that is the bouquet. Okay, the next thing we're going to work on is the stands. I do not have the footage where I showed how I wrapped the garland around the stands, but here's a clip of what I had done for Instagram, so you kind of see it by itself before I start adding the flowers. Okay, so what I was just doing is I was testing out how it would look if I put candles on each end. I decided not to use any candles because this is an outdoor wedding, and I think using candles, you know, wind blowing, it might just out them. It's in the day, you're not going to get the ambiance from the candles, so I didn't use them. But that is an option if you want to you know, think on using candles instead. So what I'm doing now is I am wrapping the floral foam onto the base. Now what I did do is I add a piece of cardboard, I cut it to size, glued it underneath, and of course when I just wrapped the tape around, that also helped to hold it as well. So now I am sticking the flowers in. On this piece, you're going to see where I incorporated more of the red in this, on the top part of this arrangement. There's going to be more red on this one. As you can see, the coral is in the garland that is wrapped around the legs of the stand. On the top, I am going to be placing, I want to create height. So in doing so, I am using the calla lilies on the top to give the piece more height. And I am going to pull them in more into the center. And around the base of that, I am going to add some more white roses. Now, as a creative person, I have an idea of what I want. Sometimes it changes significantly, sometimes it does not. This was not the idea I had for this piece. I actually was going to build another stand that would have gone on the inside of this, and we would have put candles on it. Again, I abandoned the candle idea, and we had all these flowers left anyway. So I said, you know what, let's make a bouquet of flowers on top of the stands. So that's how this idea came in. So I'm adding flowers as I go to make it work, to make it not look unfull, to not make it look like, hey, we just came up with this after. Everything is going to blend and work together. All of the colors are going to blend in and work together, and you'll see the end product. Always stand back and look at your piece. Make sure nothing on it is distracting you. Those were a little too high for me. I wanted the calla lilies to stand out by themselves and not have too much distraction. So that's why you see I went ahead and I pulled those in. So here I had 2 packs of the garlands left back. So what I decided to do is pull the flowers off of them. You can use something to do something else. I'm pulling the flowers off, and I'm using the flowers to create more depth, dimension, different size flowers, add some coral in there, but in a small scale, so you see more of the red. So it's, you know, compromising to make your piece work for you. So I'm adding some leaves in between, again, to make the piece look realistic. If you had all flowers there, no leaves, yeah, it would have looked like it's missing something. You have to add the leaves back in there as you go. So there is the finished piece. Okay, there's the finished pieces. I did 2 of those. Again, this is a I just needed 2 stands to put next to them. It was not, these were the only decorations that we were using because it is a small intimate wedding. And I hope you guys like it. They came out very, very good. She was happy with them. She was excited and she loved her pieces. I love them also. And this was all branched off of a spring. It's spring and we wanted to display spring. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope to see you guys on my next video, and I'll catch you on the next one.